Oh, yeah. Thanks.
All right, we're going to get started. I can get all the candidates to take their seats, as well as everybody who's moving around. If you can just have you take your seats, that'd be awesome. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I want to welcome you to tonight's forum for the candidates for the council. My name is Lisa Babcock. I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce. Can everybody hear me in the back? Can you just raise your hand if you can hear me? A little bit. All right, so we'll need everyone to be quiet as much as possible, just because the acoustics here kind of works against us sometimes. So, is this better? Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So if you could just monitor your volume if you're talking to your neighbor, we'd appreciate it during the evening so that we can respect the time that we have. We have a very limited time tonight with a lot of people to cover, and we're excited. It's going to be a fun evening. Thank you for all the candidates who are here. So just a few rules and instructions we're going to get before we start the evening, before I introduce our moderator. If you have a cell phone, could you please put it on mute? Not vibrate, but mute, so that again we can respect the process tonight and no interruptions. As well as if you do have to talk to someone, we ask that you either just go outside and talk to them and not have talking during the actual event so that we can keep it relatively quiet in the audience. We are going to be live streaming tonight. The Town Hall 1 is here. They're going to be live streaming, as well as 93.1 is also going to be broadcasting. So as little background noise as possible would be helpful. When you came in, you should have received a piece of paper if you wanted to ask a question. If you still didn't receive one of those on a piece of paper and you want to ask a question, just raise your hand. Okay, so we have some people, just keep your hand raised. Jess and Carla, if you can go and give them a piece of paper. So this is the way it's going to run tonight, and the moderator will also explain this coming up. That those of you who want to submit a question, we're obviously not going to be able to ask all of the questions, but we will do our best to do as many as possible. You need to write on a piece of paper, raise your hand with the piece of paper in your hand, and then someone will come and pick it up. This needs to be done before the closing of all the candidates' opening. That's kind of a confusing statement, isn't it? So the candidates are all going to have a 1-minute opening. During that time, you can still write a question, but when the last candidate has finished his opening, we will close out all the questions and take whatever questions that we've collected that time. So if you could please do that at the front end of the meeting, that would be appreciated. So again, if you have a question that hasn't been picked up yet, you can put it in your hand and raise your hand and someone will come by, or if you need a piece of paper. So just a little reminder for candidates, as you may or may not know, there's actually listed on the Town of Beaumont website the eligibility or the qualifications of a candidate. So I'm just going to read that out. They must be at least 18 years of age, a Canadian citizen, have been a resident of the local jurisdiction for the last 6 consecutive months, immediately preceding nomination date, and are not otherwise ineligible or disqualified. And then there are a list of ineligibilities, things that, such as being convicted of election fraud or different kinds of things that would disqualify you. So I encourage you, as residents of Beaumont, to do your due diligence, because this is a pivotal time in the town of Beaumont. And there is a lot of decisions that need to be made going forward. And so we just encourage you to do your due diligence on the candidates, ask the questions when here afterwards before the election, so that you find out whether or not the people that you're choosing is really the ones that you have a vision for Beaumont, or the things that you believe would be the best people to fill those space. Because it's a big role to play, and it's a big responsibility. So we encourage you just to do your due diligence. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Ron Hanchak, who is our founding president of the Beaumont Chamber of Commerce, to come, and he's going to be our moderator for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Wow, what a turnout. I've been doing this for probably the last 4 or 5 elections, and we've never had such a great turnout. There's a lot of interest in what's happening in the town. And this is a first. 20 candidates vying for 6 positions. So tonight's going to be really quite interesting. Just a couple of things for you to know. The opening statements, the opening remarks from the candidates will be 1 minute. They have the option to come up front here to the lectern, or they can stay at their seat if they wish. Questions will be, they will be given 1 minute in which to answer. Now, because the chamber is hosting this, we're taking a bit of some liberties in our questioning. The chamber will present 4 questions, in which we will ask 5 candidates to answer. Okay? There will be 4 different questions. They will be inserted at random through the night. Not all candidates will be answering the questions that come from the floor will be directed to only 1 candidate at a time. We would like to get through as many of your questions as we possibly can in this short time frame. So with that, the order has already been predetermined for speaking. The candidates, the first candidate to speak this evening will be the last candidate to close. So the first one this evening, please help me welcome Gary Surratt.
Good evening, my name is Gary Surratt. My education background is economics and accounting. In 2013, I moved to this beautiful town with my kids, my wife, and with my parents. Since then, Beaumont is home to me, and we are raising kids here. As a family, we valued small town lifestyle, and we are raising kids in this beautiful community. And this Beaumont is giving us so much opportunity. I wanted to, in the council, I'm running because I would like to have increased influence of the Beaumont residents on the council season. I would like to make sure whatever the decision is taken in the council, it will be better for the Beaumont future, not for today, for the 30 coming years. I would like to do my best, and if I got the opportunity to deliver this, please.
You will notice that we have a timer down here. When that red card comes up, I cut them off. Okay, our second speaker this evening, Sabrina Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. So this is my story. My name is Sabrina Now, most of you know me as the lady that owns Kryptonite. Some of you know me as the lady that actively participates in local programs, events, and the Fort Mac Relief Group. And some of you know me as an owner of a property tax assessment firm. Now, I'll be really honest, 9 years ago, Beaumont was not my first choice, I know. While we were house shopping, my husband insisted that we look at Beaumont. So while driving through town, all I could think was, no, too small, too quaint, just not like the city where I grew up. So until we drove through the Lakeview area, okay, so no joke, families were outside, kids were playing street hockey, they were waving at us. And I thought, oh man, that's when I was hooked. This community sucked me in because of its small town feel, the quaint neighborhoods, and families making friends with other families. That is why I love Beaumont. I'm a local business owner, I'm actively involved in the community, and I know property taxation. And I'm someone who truly loves Beaumont on our 36 Gold Spring House.
Thank you to the Chamber for this opportunity tonight. My name is Jeremy Cornell, and I am going to be your councillor for the town of Beaumont for the next 4 years. For the last 10 years, my family has made our home here in Beaumont, which is a privilege that we don't take for granted. Over those 10 years, I've proudly volunteered with a number of local groups, including the Beaumont Blues and Roots Festival, the Promotions Committee, and many, many more. I volunteer because I love this community. I love the people, and I love all that this community has to offer to its residents. As a volunteer, I've worked firsthand with the development and review of town policy and worked with the previous council and administration. I bring to the role of councillor a background in project management, including large-scale budgeting, extensive experience stewarding productive relationships. I have proven leadership, accountability, maturity, and a positive, inclusive outlook. I love life in Beaumont, and becoming a councillor for me is the next step, being able to give back to my community now and for our future. So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ron. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. I live by that quote. Ladies and gentlemen, today's that day. My name is Paul Dysick. Thanks for coming out on such an important election. This election will change and shape Beaumont for now and for years to come. I want to say hi to my beautiful wife and my two boys who should be in bed sleeping. Without their support, I would not even consider this. I have always had interest to run for town council. Now that I've settled in this community for 10 years and plan to stay for the next 40 years, I want to make my mark on this community. I want Beaumont to be the best community it can be for my family and all the families in Beaumont. Thank you.
Kathy Barnhart.
Thank you. Bonsoir tout le monde. My name is Kathy Barnhart, and I have been on council for 4 years, for one term. This is familiar territory for me. That is the public sector. I've spent my entire work life serving communities and people in one capacity or another. I started as a kindergarten teacher in Quebec. I moved then to Canuso and Lacombe and continued teaching there. I was a daycare administrator in Red Deer, a branch manager for the City of Edmonton's Community Services Department, and now an accreditation coach and an elected official here in Beaumont. My training in education includes a master's degree from the U of A in education, a certificate in training in leadership from the Kennedy School of Government, and the Tamarack Institute for Collaboration. Formal training plus my experience has prepared me well for the work that I have been doing on council. Since becoming your councillor, I have focused my energy and skills, and I'm finished. Thank you very much.
Number 6, Brandy.
I'll try and stand on my tippy toes here. Being the shortest one here. I am Brandy Wachter. I want to welcome you all tonight for coming. I'm a longtime resident. I've been here for 20 plus years. I'm one of the longest standing candidates running for council. I've seen Beaumont grow. I want to continue to see Beaumont grow. I'm raising my family here. I have 3 amazing children, 18, 13, and 8. They want to see the youth and a change and things for them to do. I have a husband that's a local contractor in town. He sees the red tape that is happening for our community. I'm a local contractor for the town as well. I'm animal control. So I see the struggles and the pain that goes through with all of our residents. I want to represent you. I want to be a loud voice for you, Beaumont, our community that we call home. I'm also active in the community. I'm Vice President on Citizens Patrol.
Hello there, I'm Murray Baldwin. I've lived in Beaumont for the last 9.5 years with my wife and my 3 boys. We've been involved with the school councils, with Beaumont Soccer, Beaumont Minor Hockey, Beaumont Baseball, and with Triton Swimming, which I'm the current president of. We know firsthand how badly this community needs additional recreational facilities. It's absolutely my primary focus. As for my background, I have a business degree. I've worked for the government of Alberta for the past 14 years. Before that, I worked at the legislature. I have a very good knowledge of municipal provincial relations, of political discussions. I've been involved with contracting, budgeting, forecasting for governments, and I think I bring an excellent background and knowledge to the town council. Thank you.
Mark?
Is this on? Hi everyone, my name is Mark Bouchard and I'm running for town council. I moved to Beaumont over 25 years ago and raised my family here. I love what Beaumont is and want to see it continue to prosper and to be a safe and desirable place for all our families. I'm proud to have participated in the creation of the Beaumont Central Development Plan, wherein the aesthetic red village designs were established. I've worked as president of the Beaumont Skating Club and sat on town committees, including Beaumont Family and Community Support Services and the Town of Beaumont Subdivision Development Appeal Board. It has also been my honor to serve on the Beaumont Credit Union. On the Beaumont Credit Union Board of Directors, with our co-mayor, Mr. Harubi was the CEO. I believe I am now ready to serve my community yet again, this time as a councillor for the town of Beaumont.
Our next candidate is, we had one that sent their regards, and that was number 9. And number 10. You're next.
Good evening. I've been a resident of Beaumont for just over 35 years. I've been married to my dear wife Joanne for 36 years. We have 4 adult children, a son-in-law, and a granddaughter. I'm the general manager of Hendricks Construction. We are the general contractor of phase 1 of this high school. I'm a member of the Alberta Society of Engineering Technologists, recipient of the Canadian Construction Association Gold Seal Certificate for Project Management, graduate from NAIT in the Building Construction Engineering Program in 1979. My participation in Beaumont includes town councillor from October 1991 to 2007 and 2013 to 2017. I was a minor coach for minor hockey, for novice to right through to midget. Past member of the Chantal Ruby Youth Center Building Committee. Former chairman of the Southwest Regional Water Commission. Member of the Promotions Committee. Nominated for Philip O. Volunteer of the Year Award in 2008. And participant in the Jail and Bail fundraiser for the Canadian Cancer Society. Thank you.
Next.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason McNabb, and I already work for you in the provincial capacity, and I'd like to work for you in the local capacity. The last time I had a job interview, there wasn't this many people, because this is a job interview. And in an interview, you pick someone who has a resume with demonstrated experience and types of things you need for the job. But you're not just picking someone, you're picking a team. When I think of successful teams, I like to think to movies and television, like Mission Impossible, X-Men, and the A-Team. Those teams are successful because they have a mix of people with specialties, like one guy is good at demolition, another guy is good at computer hacking. Those people are using those skills, working together as a team to achieve a goal. Now it's your turn. You have the opportunity to pick a team based on skills the team members bring. My special skill is not settling for status quo. I hear phrases in government like, that's the way we've always done it, or that will never happen. I hear those phrases, and I went up against one of the biggest software companies in the world, and these guys are hunters and killers. I challenge the status quo, and leave your tax dollars hung in the balance. I challenge them in one, and I saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars. Challenging the status quo is my special skill, and that's why I'm looking under 18.
Okay, take 2 seconds off his clothes. Sam, you're up.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming out here today. It's great to see so many people engaged in this election. My name is Sam Monkoff-Swain, and I want to bring a new generation of leadership to Town Council here. A little bit about me. I was born in New Zealand. I took political science and communications at university and moved out here in 2008. My wife, Becky Watson, she grew up and went to school here, so that's kind of how I ended up out here. I've got 2 beautiful young daughters who are here in the crowd today, but that's really the reason why I'm running here. I want to represent families at that decision-making table. I work for Enbridge Pipelines in government relations and in communications, so I think I can bring that background to improve the connection between residents and council here in Beaumont. I'd like to thank everyone again for being out here. We have some amazing candidates with us. We've got a chance for a very strong council. I'm incredibly passionate about local issues, and I've also got a lot of energy that can work for you for the next 4 years. Looking forward to your questions, and hello to everyone who's on Facebook Live back there.
Our next candidate is Stephen Van Newkirk.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Van Newkirk, and I'm running for Town Council. I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone coming out tonight. Awesome turnout. Putting myself out there as a candidate in this election was a decision that I did not take at all lightly. But before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in central Alberta, completed a bachelor's degree at the U of A, and subsequently owned an environmental consulting firm for 8 years. My wife grew up in Beaumont, and we moved back to Beaumont to raise our boys. They're 4 and 6. We believe Beaumont is the best place to raise children. My family has deep roots in municipal politics. My father was a councillor and then mayor in a small town named Muir for 13 years as I grew up. My aunt is currently a sitting councillor in the county of Lacombe. Now you're probably wondering, why did I run? Well, I have a vision for Beaumont. That vision includes community engagement, value for services, and regional cooperation. I'm prepared to work hard towards this vision. I'm running in this election to be a community voice through engagement and listening, a strong evaluator, and a trusted partner. Thank you.
Martin Stepp.
Good evening, Beaumont. Bonsoir, Beaumont. My name is Martin Stout. I want to be your councillor, but it's not because I need a full-time job with good pay and paid benefits and job security, because the town councillor doesn't get those. And it's not because I want to start a second career in politics. You can take a look at my balding head and my white moustache, and I can promise you I'm not the next Justin Trudeau. It's not because I think I'm better than other candidates. We've got a candidate here with an MBA. We've got a candidate who created and runs the Beaumont Blues Festival. We've got another candidate who's done terrific relief aid work for survivors of the Fort McMurray wildfire. I've not done any of those things. And it's definitely not because I want the glory and the respect that's due to a town councillor. Anybody here been on Facebook and seen that group, the People of Beaumont? Then you know what I mean. You know the sort of respect they're getting. I think I'm probably going to run out of time, so yeah, there we go. I'll tell you the real reasons why I'm running out of the way.
Okay, if you have your question and you're ready to hand it over to one of our collectors out there, just hold it up in your hand, please. They'll come around and grab it. We need something to start with, so please. You have some? Good. Okay, perfect. Next up is Jacqueline Bealey.
Hello, Beaumont. I'm Jacqueline Biolo, and I'm running for Town Council because I care about the kind of municipality we want to live, work, play, and invest in. Et parce que je veux engager Beaumontonians et représenter votre vision pour notre municipalité. Je suis passionnée d'être votre élu. I have the skills and abilities to get the job done, both as a former elected official and as a business consultant with a master's in economic development, strategic relationship building, policy development, and fiscal management. Since 2000, my family and I chose and choose to live in Beaumont. We love the variety of neighborhoods, businesses, parks, and services, and of course, the French Village theme, connecting it all together. But most of all, we love what makes life better in Beaumont, the people who live here. This campaign isn't about me, it's about us. Merci.
Is it on? Hello, I'm Sean Brown. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight and being part of democracy. Municipal democracy is very important. It's grassroots, and you can make a difference at this level. It's kind of hard to make a difference at the provincial or federal level, but the municipal level is very important, so thanks for being here tonight. I served 3 years in the Canadian Army. I learned integrity, honesty, respect, and now I'm going to serve Beaumont with the same honesty, integrity, and respect. Beaumont was my stomping grounds. I grew up in Leduc, but spent most weekends in Beaumont, loved Beaumont, and when I had the opportunity, got out of the Army, I moved my family here. I started businesses 15 years ago. I've ran 3 successful businesses, currently have one today, 2 are still by the McDonald's in Nisku. I grew up around the business community, the oil field, and know a lot of people in the business. I think in the next couple of years, business is going to be very important to Beaumont, and we really need to focus on negotiating. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you for coming out, and thank you for not falling asleep yet. My name is Christine McCarville, and I've been in Beaumont for almost 12 years now. My husband and I decided to move here when we decided to raise a family and start one. My children attend St. Andre's as well as Bellevue School. I am a certified financial planner. I've ran my own company here in this town for the last 6 years. I also hold a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice. I'm an active member in the community with ringette and hockey, as well as I volunteer at my children's schools. I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to keep it short and sweet.
Scott Redden.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the Chamber to put this on. Thank you for everyone to come. Thank you for my wife and 2 kids that have supported me throughout this endeavor. It's pretty nerve-wracking for the most part, going to the for the first time or speaking at this microphone. The reason I want to run for town council is I want to be your voice. I want everyone to be heard, and sometimes you don't get that in municipal politics, but it is time, like another candidate said, different way of leadership coming. I want to be that voice for everyone, especially the businesses, developers, changing the way things are done in Beaumont for the better. I want to represent the people of Beaumont, and hope to get out and door knock and see everybody in the near future. Thank you.
Krista.
Thank you all for coming out this evening. My name is Krista Regier and I have lived in Beaumont for 15 years. I have 3 children aged 14, 13, and 11 years. Beaumont has such a great sense of community and camaraderie, and that is why I chose to make Beaumont our home. We are a community filled with young families, and we need the resources and the programs to meet their needs. But we are more than that. We cannot forget about the families who have already raised their children, and our senior citizens. We also need to support their needs in the community, ensuring the established areas of town are being maintained and that resources for our seniors are available throughout the community. It is time to actively pursue bringing more businesses to Beaumont to help meet those needs. I want Beaumont to be a strong, vibrant community for all our residents. Thank you.
And our final one is Bill.
Thank you. Number 28. Number 20. My name is Bill Dallek. First of all, I want to thank Mayor Ruby and the current council for the past service. It's been very much appreciated. I came to Beaumont with my family in 2006. My wife had 3 children. We came to Saskatoon. I got a political science degree from the University of Saskatchewan. Let me tell you why I'm running for council. I love to be involved. I love to serve. You see from my bio, I've been involved in various charities, nonprofits, and organizations in the past, various capacities. I've also served as a Strata Council President for 5 years, and learned a valuable experience from that experience. Now, being on council is a huge commitment. We're going to meet twice a month. Budget committee, 6 other committees we need to serve on. It's going to involve a very large commitment. At this point in my life, my kids are grown, they're all past grade 12, almost independent now, the wife's independent. I need a project, my wife says. So, have the time to do a great job for you. On October 16th, please come to your work. Thank you.
Oh, that's not bad. We went through all 20 and a half an hour. Okay, for the first question from the floor, and just so you know the order in which it will happen, we'll start at the very left, we'll ask one question of each, and they'll just continue on down until we finish here, and then we'll go back. Okay, so the first question is, excuse me, how do you plan to ensure viability of the transit so that the repayment of the grant will not be a burden on the Beaumont taxpayers? You got 1 minute? I'll read it one more time. How do you plan to ensure viability of the transit so that the repayment of the grant will not be a burden on Beaumont taxpayers?
Honestly, it doesn't matter to me if Beaumont Transit is successful or not. I'm hoping it matters to everybody else and they start using it so we don't have to pay off that grant from your taxes. Thank you.
Okay, the next question, collaboration. How will you collaborate with our regional partners at the Capital Region Board? Once again, how will you collaborate with our regional partners at the Capital Region Board? Gary?
That is a very important question. And we are lagging from that. And we can see that as things happen here, there is a lack of the communication with the capital region and the neighboring municipality. So we should have anyone going in the council, we should have to change and we have to solve what's happening and task, and we have to engage with our municipality, and that is very, very important for a Beaumont, because if we're going to have a communication with the neighboring municipality, then the Beaumont will have a strong impact in the capital region. Thank you.
In 10 words or less, Name 2 things you will do to affect change at the council level. In 10 words or less, name 2 things you will do to affect change at the council level. Here, time starts.
Be at the council meeting.
That's 5. You got 5 more.
Be at the council meeting.
Okay. What about fiscal responsibility and lowering taxes? I don't understand why there is so much talk about a 3rd recreational facility, but very little about the essential services. How about an emergency center instead? Would you like me to repeat it?
No, thank you, and I appreciate the question in regards to not only recreation, those activities that will not only engage our youth, but perhaps keep them in a positive forward-moving motion out of law enforcement initiatives and engagement with the police. But I think the bulk of the question is about our aging population, those with developmental delays, perhaps all of the other positive resources that we need to bring into the community. So right now we have an excellent FCSS program, Family and Child Social Services, and I think that dollars are accurately afforded to those on an ongoing basis so that the community can not only have some fun recreation, but look after the needs and important issues of the community. And I would support that moving forward for sure. And it's a conversation that we need to not only have, identifying what those needs are, but budgeting accordingly for them as the community grows.
The next question deals with town halls. How about monthly ones, where residents can bring up the issues that are concerning? They can be held at either the Eaglemont Church, Community Center, etc. Would you entertain this idea? Yes, sir.
Hi. Hello. This is something I've actually been speaking with residents about as I have gone door to door. I would like to see more opportunities for residents to speak with us and if we are elected. I think that we should do more open houses, do more opportunities to speak to others, and also be available prior to council meetings for the people who are coming in to speak to our council members, help them to get the point across before they make their presentation. So I would absolutely support it. I really think that more opportunities are very important for our community.
Next question. Briefly describe 2 Beaumont events, organizations, and/or clubs that you have contributed to in the past year in a significant way. Not counting memberships.
I don't know if it totally considers a Beaumont event, but Beaumont does put on one of the largest ringette tournaments in Alberta, in which I have helped run for the last 3 years. It's the Brass Ring. We bring in over 23 teams, I believe it is. And last year was the first year we did not have any teams from Saskatchewan come in due to hotel issues. The other, it was 2 events? I don't know about events per se, but if you ask any of the teachers at St. Andre's, I am there minimum once a month helping out. I help run the Hot Lunch Initiative there. It is run strictly by volunteers and parents. And this is not a paying position. I've heard in other schools it is. Those would be probably my 2 biggest events I contribute to.
What are your top 3 strategies to get feedback from residents that would be better than what we've had? and at no cost. Want me to repeat it? That should be on.
Is it on? Yes. Top 3 strategies to get more people from
Started five.
Hello.
One, two.
Take this one.
That's called the stall.
Yeah, it's,
These are the strategies that I would employ to get more input from citizens. Have elections. Look at the input we're getting from this election. I say that in jest because honestly I don't want to have this go on too many times because it is quite moving for the people that are sitting up here as well. But I think talking to real people in real settings and having an opportunity to dialogue is the most effective way. I think social media has potential, but I do think a lot of us have to learn how to use it and use it appropriately. But that's a second strategy. I guess the third strategy is just being inviting more people to come to council and having more meetings that are open to council, open to the public, and just making sure people see that it's worthwhile coming. I don't know, that maybe having more opportunity to have events where councillors, town hall meetings are an idea that's been used many times by many councils. It can be, unfortunately, not very successful if people come with only a negative event. Thank you. Those are my 3 strategies.
town childcare is subsidized. Should it be privatized?
Wow. All the mothers in the room. Wow, this is a good question. I never thought of daycare from that perspective before. It depends on political slant to some extent, but I do think there's a place for government subsidized daycare and also private as well. Not just trying to sit on the fence, but I do think both have a service to serve our community. It depends on the family's situation financially that they can afford. Government subsidized daycare does provide daycare services to people who need the support. Private daycare can be more expensive. You choose to pay for it, it's your own choice. I think having a subsidized daycare is important to a lot of families in Beaumont. I would support publicly serviced daycares.
Okay, I'm going to insert the first chamber question. Excuse me, all those with the number 1, listen closely. Beaumont has faced its fair share of business failures in the past. As a councillor, what role do you think the town should take in promoting the business community? The first one is Murray. Would you like me to repeat it?
Yes, please.
Okay. That's a stall time.
It is, absolutely.
Beaumont has faced its share of business failures in the past. As a councillor, what role do you think town council should take to promote the business community?
Well, I think town council does have a role in promotion of our own businesses. To some extent, I don't think we should be financially supporting them. I think word of mouth, I think personal usage of our businesses. I'm very big on shopping local, and talking to people about the value of shopping in our own community, and I think that there really is a limited role, but no, that's all I got.
Fair enough. Thank you. Yeah, you're answering this question.
Okay, well, commercial failing is really not a town issue. I agree that we should not be subsidizing businesses, but promoting them. And I do believe we should promote our town's businesses to the best of our ability at every chance. Helping failing commercial businesses not so much. Promoting for sure.
I had a discussion with a local business owner this week, and there's new sign bylaw in town, and all you're allowed on your sign is your logo and your name. They weren't allowed to put below it what they did. So I drove around town and I looked at all the other signs in town. And under this new sign bylaw, my interpretation of it, Canadian taste buds wouldn't be able to say restaurant and bar underneath. So I think it makes it difficult for small businesses to come to town. And if you're a business that is maybe questionable in your name what you do, it'd be really nice to have what you do below your name. So I look at things like that to support businesses so they're able to attract people. Things like that can hurt a business, they're not going to be walking traffic that they need. So I look at things like that, and then we all have to support it. It's all up to us as local residents to support a local business. The skate sharpening shop and the sports shop in town, people only skate sharpen their skates there. They weren't buying their sticks there because they were $10 cheaper in the city. If we want local businesses, we have to put an effort in as a community to support them and support the local workshop.
Jason?
So I absolutely think that the town has a stake in promoting local business because these businesses are contributing to our tax base, so we're all in it together. With my job in government, I'm a very big believer in shared services, which is why I think that we should be partnering with neighboring communities through capital review board, economic development, and that sort of thing. And basically, the idea is we want to advertise those businesses, and we also, as council, we're responsible for policy. That's something I'm very familiar with in my day job. And we need to make sure that we have the right policy in place so that they can be successful, learn from past successes and failures.
Krista?
This is something I've actually put a lot of thought into. I have heard from people in Edmonton that it's hard for businesses to come to Beaumont. We need to make it easier for them. We need to make it easier to get the paperwork filled out, get everything through easier so that they can open their doors quicker. I think we also need to support them once they're in our community. We need to make sure that they can have the time to build the capital and become an established business. An idea I have for that is defer their taxes by, say, 6 months. Just give them a chance to get established and hopefully then they become long-term. We need to also make sure we're bringing the right kind of businesses to our community. I don't believe we'll support Walmart or a Canadian Tire. We'll support unique businesses, we'll support smaller versions of that. I also think once they come to town, let's make it easy for them to be known in the community. If we have community events, invite them to come out and promote themselves. We need to promote, we need to make it easy for them to be here, and we need to make them want to stay.
Okay, we're back to your questions. What is your stance, priority of the support of the arts and multi-arts venue in Beaumont? Sure. What is your stance on or priority for the support of the arts and a multi-arts venue in Beaumont?
Yes, good. I'm strongly in favour of bringing more arts and cultural activities into Beaumont, and I've lived here for 25 years now. Those of you who've lived here for more than 10 have probably seen me on stage, on this stage, in fact. Beaumont used to have a very good drama society, which I was an actor. Many other people performed in it, multiple venues, but typically we don't have that society anymore. And the main reason is because we did not have a proper home or a location where we could perform or rehearse. There's also been issues with one of the things that now happens with the high school, that's happened for a long time. They do a great drama program here. But when they do their block 5 productions, they take it out to the Duke, to the McLeod Centre. Oh, now the time. Yes, I think we should have a multi-arts performance centre. So we don't have to do those things.
busing to Edmonton from Beaumont. And by the way, we need more questions. Sure.
My views on the bus in Edmonton, well, that's certainly a hot topic. I would have rather answered Martin's question, but here I am. Well, like many people in this town, I raised an eyebrow when the announcement first came out about the buses going to Edmonton, and certainly had some questions about the financing of that and how much it would be utilized. I was here the last time we had such an experiment in this town. However, it's here, and it's something we have to accept, and we have to work together as a team, this council and our new mayor, to ensure that it is sustainable and that it is, if not profitable, at least, you know, cost recovery basis, it is sustainable for the long term. We are in a contract. I have a son who just started at Beaumont University this year, and he's been utilizing that service, and it's actually been a godsend for him. So we need to do what we can to promote it and find ways to support it through advertising and other revenue on the buses and at the bus stops, so that it is not a failure. Thank you.
Back to the chamber questions, and this will be for those that have the second question assigned to them. One of the hot topic items that continues to surface within the town is the types of businesses that open within this community. Do you think council should impose limits? Do you want me to repeat it? Okay. One of the hot topic items that continues to surface within the town is the types of businesses that open within the community. Do you think council should impose limits? Catherine.
Thank you. It would be impossible for council to impose limits on some of the businesses that are open. Quite honestly, under the Municipal Government Act, we have limitations on what powers we actually have. So when there are businesses, and I think we might be talking about number of liquor stores or number of gas stations or whatever might be going on, the community has a right to have a protest if they do not think that the business belongs in a certain area. But at the end of the day, if it's zoned appropriately, and that business can work in that community and the residents don't oppose it, we can't decide how many liquor stores or how many gas stations or how many bookstores or any other kind of store. So we do need citizens to come out and tell us if there's a reason why it can't work safely. But beyond that, council is very limited about the number of businesses that can operate in our town.
Thank you, Kathy. It's a great answer. I believe that question has more an emotional ring to it than a legal ring. I believe Kathy's correct that there's only so many limits the town as an entity can place on businesses. Let me express myself more clearly, perhaps. No one wants a massage parlor in Beaumont, okay? That's pretty much clear. But can we stop opening? Legally, I'm not sure we can. I'm not up to speed as Kathy is on that legislation that dictates the town can and can't do. Emotionally, I support that closure. Legally, I'm not sure we can. However, I would highly encourage social disobedience and social resistance to boycott that business because it should be part of our community. But bars, restaurants, craft stores, other things like hotels, that's a good legitimate business. We need those in Beaumont. But some businesses don't belong in our community, and we have to take a stand on that. Legally, sometimes we can, but morally, we can't.
Thank you.
So I'm a firm believer in policy and guidelines, and I think we need to have those things to ensure that our town maintains a certain image and a certain branding to the community, to the province, and across our country. However, I also believe in flexibility and something called common sense. So I think we need to utilize common sense as a collaborative council to evaluate the type of businesses that are coming to town, and we need to ensure that we're sticking within our guidelines and not being flexing on what we have written down because of the dollars and cents that it's going to bring into our town. I also think that we really need to use that common sense to really support the local businesses. The reason we have some of these bigger chains coming in, which a lot of them we want, but We don't want to see the small businesses leaving our town either, and sometimes that happens because of the rigidity in our current policies and our inability to be flexible. It's already been mentioned about the sign bylaw, which is something I've been intimately involved in as one of the citizens reviewing that policy last year. So, thank you.
Spot. Too eager to answer a question.
Simple answer, I agree with Jeremy. It's common sense. I'm for policy and procedure, but at the same time, we have to restrict what the town would do for businesses or to businesses. There's the same thing that was touched on before, I think by Sean Brown, where businesses have certain signs and the town puts up limits on what you can put on your sign, where I've talked to business owners where they can only put their name, their logo on it, where they have 10 services to offer. 90% of their people come through have no idea that they offered something else. For the amount of gas stations, liquor stores, things like this, I don't think there should be any limits because they are business. If it's touched on before, if it's something in a community that people don't like a gas station down in Colonial, then obviously the people spoke and it didn't happen. That's what I would like to see go on continually in Beaumont. People speaking up to tell council, to tell the town what they want.
Finally, Gary.
So, about the business. First thing I did in my statement, I want influence from the residents of Beaumont to the council. And anything we don't like, we wanted to hear. We have a right to raise our voices. And I'm not sure about the bylaw and the council because I'm not there yet. But for sure, if anything is appropriate, we don't like, we have a full right to raise voices. And that's why we are here for. Thank you.
Okay, we're back to your questions.
Sorry, I'm 99% sure I'm on the list.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't notice how eager I was to answer the question. I'm sure you'll give me an extra 30 seconds for that. Alright, so the question is, what can council do? And Kathy spoke about it perfectly, absolutely nothing. So I'm not going to focus on what we can't do. What we can do is what I really want to focus on. We need to be out there selling our town. We can't just put a sign on an empty lot or put a page up, an ad up on a website and hope that businesses come to town. We need to be out there building relationships, identifying which businesses we want to come in there, and then go out there and sell ourselves. I work, as I mentioned before, in government relations, and one of my strengths is to build relationships with people. That's what gets businesses to come to town. We're the 5th fastest growing community in Canada. There's absolutely no reason why a business shouldn't want to come in here. But the reason they don't is that we need to sell it harder, right? So get out there, as council, we can do that. We can work with economic development and really sell our town. It's an amazing town that we live in, and we need to show people that. Thank you.
Did I miss anybody else? Okay, back to your questions. I have noticed many noxious weeds around town this summer, especially in new developments like Montrose. Do you have any strategies to prevent this from happening? Sorry? Goats.
Someone else. We're actually joking that we said that I would be the one to get the weed control question. I was trying to answer the fast on the communication one, but I'll give weed control a go. To be honest, I don't know much about it. But for me, the big thing I'll pull it back to is around communication. And really to have that connection between council and administration. Obviously, if you're building here in Beaumont, you don't want your next door neighbour who hasn't developed their land, to not get their grading done on time. And so we need to make sure that our town administration is open to be able to get that feedback. On the boulevards, that is town property. We need to make sure, obviously there is a portion of the budget that is allocated towards weed control. And obviously if that's an issue, it's obviously an issue because it's a question here tonight. That's something that we need to be engaged. Make sure that you voice those opinions to town council. But what I'm hearing at the doors is that those opportunities aren't there. They're trying to get in touch with people and they're not getting those responses back. And that's what I can bring from a communications perspective, give you someone who you can reach out to and express your concerns to.
What plan do you have to support special need adults so that they can contribute and be successful in Beaumont? Should I repeat it?
No, that's a loaded question. I just want to say thank you to King for all his hard work for being mayor, so thank you. Trying to stall here. Anyway, I apologize, this isn't my forte. Sorry, I apologize, this isn't my forte here. I'm all for the special needs, the handicapped, all the less fortunate people. Boy, I apologize, I'm frozen here. It just, I don't know because I'm not in their situation. I never want to be, and I'm sure they never want to be in that situation. So whatever support they need, I'd be more than happy to listen to them, give it to them, and do whatever I can for them because nobody ever wanted anything, any disabilities or anything like that. I'm very passionate about it because I work with a few people that are, they can't see very good. Some people are in wheelchairs, and thank you.
What vision do you have for Beaumont that would set us apart from other area communities?
Well, let's do this. Vision for Beaumont. As you heard in my opening statement, I have a vision for Beaumont, and that is to increase the level of community engagement. It's a value for services, and it's a regional cooperation piece. Any one of those done really well would separate us apart from all of the municipalities around us. I'm most passionate about communication, and I truly believe that we can do it better, we can do it cheaply, and we can get people involved. If we did that, that would be a great feather in our cap. Regional cooperation is a piece that needs some love. Last Thursday there was a vote, we didn't end up on the favorable side of that. I don't know what the past relationships are like or how they got there, but I'm sure darn well going to figure out what we're going to do moving forward. The issues that our regional partners have with us, we need to be aired and we need to move forward with those. Thank you.
Many of you want to hold extra meetings on top of the 3 regular council meetings and numerous committee meetings and town events once a month. How much time are you willing to commit to council and town activities?
Well, okay. I am willing to commit the amount of time that it takes to discuss the issues, to ensure that the residents have a chance to provide the input that is necessary on major issues that come up in the community. I will make time for people. I'll do public meetings. I'm happy to meet people in smaller groups to discuss their concerns. I'm very committed to this community. It's been great to me and my family, and I honestly will take as much time as is necessary. Thanks.
Okay, question number 3 from the business community. The business community is the major employer, receives limited municipal services, pays significantly more in taxes, and has no vote in the elections. Is there an inequity here, and if so, how should council address this? Jacqueline, you're first. Would you like me to repeat? The business community is the major employer in town, receives limited municipal services, pays significantly more in taxes, and has no vote in the elections. Is there an inequity here, and if so, how should council address it?
Well, I think there's lots of opportunities for our businesses to be engaged with council, so I applaud that and I continue to welcome that. We have an economic development officer within the town that works not only recruiting and bringing the businesses in, but hopefully to engage them on an ongoing basis. Municipalities are about you. My platform, as I spoke before in my introduction, is about the things that we can walk out of our front door and be proud of. So there are elements where, yes, I appreciate that there's frustration, perhaps because of red tape delays or processes that the commercial businesses need to jump through, work with the town, and I think that that is their opportunity. So their voice may not be on a ballot per se to vote for individuals like myself or my colleague, but I think that the more important is that we are out listening and representing you on an ongoing basis. So I applaud the difference, and I think that continuing and moving forward, that we will hear those voices.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Can you repeat the question?
Sure. The business community is the major employer, receives limited municipal services, pays significantly more in taxes, and has no vote in the elections. Is there an inequity here, and if so, how should council address it?
How I would go about it is, for example, I would talk to Sabrina. She's a business owner. I would approach her and see her needs and wants. And we've done this to ourselves where we've put a lot of restrictions, a lot of red tape to cause businesses a hard time to get started, to keep going. Like Sean, I think Sean said, like having a sign. Some companies just want their name on the sign and they're still getting a hard time to get their sign on their building. Bake My Day, they just have their name on it. They wanted their phone number. Again, I'd be a voice for all the people, all the businesses, and I would take their issues forward and talk on behalf of them. Thank you.
Sabrina Carter.
Okay, so as a business owner, I actually own a few different businesses here in town and operate them out of here. Now, going into business, of course, I know I have to pay more taxes. I know that, that's part of being a business owner. So, you know, paying more taxes, that's what you sign up for as a business owner, so you have to do it. Now, the bonus is that these taxes are pretty much a write-off, so, you know what, I'm gonna pay taxes, it's a write-off, I can think about my company, hey, that's fine, it is what it is. Now, business owners don't get a vote. Now, that's an interesting one because I don't know of any municipality that actually allows their business owners to vote. So I don't feel like there's an equity and inequity in that one. And for services, same thing, as a business owner, you know what, you kind of sign up for that. You kind of know what you're getting into. And yeah, you do have some limited resources and limited services. I think as a business owner here in town, what I would love to see to help with those services and help gain the trust of the town and put more resources into the businesses is as simple as creating a position or maybe a business liaison person.
Okay, we're back to your questions. Recycling. Any plans to encourage a switch to a provider that takes... Sorry? Are you on there? No,
You know, like people from New Zealand or England think that's the...
Go for it. Go Go for it.
Yeah, I think it's too much, obviously, accents. Okay, I'm not sure I entirely agree with the premise of the question. That businesses require less municipal, so will have less municipal service. I think in many cases they require more, because they require extra utilities, all the underground stuff. They have an impact, they need, typically they need parking, and they have an impact on traffic. I think it may be the case that businesses actually require more services. I'm also thinking that as far as votes are concerned, no, that's not an inequity. A business is not a person. All the employees and the owner of the business do get to vote in the municipalities wherever they live. But the one thing that strikes me that we could do, I don't think the businesses I've spoken to don't actually mind paying more in taxes. What they want is to be able to thrive and to do more business. And I think we could help them as a municipality by reducing the regulatory burden, by not imposing unnecessary signage limitations, or by requiring permits for development that we know that they have to undertake anyway.
Recycling. Any plans to encourage a switch to a provider that takes styrofoam and glass, or an area to set up bins for the town? Next up.
Oh, it's me? Oh, it's me. Okay, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. Recycling. Any plans to encourage a switch to a provider that takes styrofoam and glass, or an area to set up bins for the town?
Okay, all right, here we go, we're going in, we're doing it. So, you know, the garbage, let's just take it back just one notch. The garbage has been a problem for residents, apparently. A lot of people can't fit all their garbage in the bins, 2 weeks worth, whichever else. So, you know, you've got all these residents that are saying these things, and that's the feedback that everyone's getting. So it kind of concerns me, do we need to spend more money on styrofoam and glass if people aren't actually recycling on a normal basis? Is that why our garbage bins are you know, you know what, I'll take it one more step back. My family, we're huge recyclers. We're a family of 6, or well, 5 now, so anyways, family of 5. We never have problems with our bins overflowing, but we recycle a lot. We're that household where you've got 12 blue bags sitting out front because we recycle. But that's not the case for everybody. So it does make me wonder, do we really want to spend money on styrofoam and glass and having a recycling station in town, when I just would hesitate to see if that would actually be used to its best ability. So I think at this point, we're saying no.
What is your opinion of the importance of French history and culture as a tourist attraction in Beaumont?
Already up here.
Okay.
Do it. The French theme is here. I love the French theme, but we also need to think outside. Let's keep the French theme downtown, kind of like have a downtown core where it's all French. Let's not spread it out throughout the whole community. I agree, Beaumont is a French community. It'll always be a French community. But we need to loosen some of our guidelines. 1, for businesses. 2, I would like to see a toll of actually how many residents are here that are French and speak full French. Yes, we have bilingual schools, and I encourage that, and I support that 100%. But when it comes to the guidelines, we also need to think of our businesses and the effect that it has on them to pursue or to build here in Beaumont.
The expansion to the Aqua Center will be both expensive and inadequate and too restrictive. What will you do to collaborate with surrounding jurisdictions to build a proper recreational center nearby? Brackets, multiplex.
From outdoor looking, talking to residents, it's 50-50 from what I've heard of people that want to expand Aquafit to phase 2, and the other 50% saying they want a completely new building like the LRC or Millennium Place in Sherwood Park. I honestly don't have a firm opinion which way is better. To work with regional partners, I don't know how many would be willing to put it, like if Leduc would be willing to work with us for that, and how close they would want it for us if they're putting in the majority of the money, which they probably would be. Something with Edmonton would definitely be good use of annexed lands if they stay in our, if they stay part of Beaumont. The biggest thing I say to everybody, I want to work with the regional partners that we have to build something would be tremendous. But again, like I said, it's 50-50 in the air, that what I've heard from people wanting on with phase 2 and a completely different facility.
Thank you. Based on the Beaumont strategic plan, please state your 3 top priorities.
Well, anybody that knows me knows I wanted the garbage question, so I'll start on that one. I've studied some of the other municipalities and what they're doing for garbage. Okotoks, if you get a chance, go to their website. They actually run their own trucks. They're turning money back into the tax base. They're actually profitable. They have an eco center in town. They run that as well. So I think there's a lot we could do. We're in business right now. We run an arena, we run a pool. They're not making much money. Garbage, there's money. There's lots of money in garbage, actually. And we subcontract that out. No contractor's going to jump up and run the buses for us. There's no money in them. They're taking over the businesses that they want because there's money in them. So that's one of my priorities. My other priority would be to work with Edmonton and come up with a regional plan that works for everyone. I want the small town feel of Beaumont to stay. That's why we all moved here. And I think it's important when we're negotiating with them to keep that feel. Thank you.
What do we plan on doing for the youth of this town? Keep head in sand regarding drugs. Okay. Let's focus on all children.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. What do we plan on doing for the youth of this town? Keep head in sand regarding drugs? Question mark. Let's focus on all children.
Good question. I don't know if that's an easy one, but one of the things that I do at work is I spend a lot of time listening, whether it's to my team or to my peers. And I'd like to say here that 18,000 heads are better than 7. And I think that through regular public consultations, through whether it's weekly town meetings or One Beaumont Talks, I do talk on there a little bit, but I mostly listen. And I think that getting suggestions from experts, also partnering with other municipalities to find out what are they doing, because St. Albert, Sherwood Park, Leduc, all these other places have the same problems we do. There's going to be a lot of new heads on council. Some of them are going to be new in those jurisdictions, and some are going to be veterans. So I think that reaching out in a variety of capacities to find out what are the best of breed answers, and also, will those fit in Beaumont? And these are things that I do in my day job in IT capacity, and I'll bring it here too.
Oh, we got through all 20. Okay, we have the last chamber question. First one up is Perry. Perry, what is the one key item that you're willing to champion that will make a positive impact on this town's business community? Want me to repeat it?
Beaumont Town Council spends each and every meeting, each and every week a day, thinking about ways to bring in businesses. Well, this is not a new topic. We have a department that puts in its effort every day in an attempt to bring in businesses. There's all the various collaborations that we as councillors are involved with respect to the municipalities. We are talking with state people, we are talking to the chamber, and to the chamber a lot, to make sure that we're getting the right input from the chamber. With respect to businesses itself, the way they come here is if they've got an opportunity here. So you have to create the opportunity. If you create the opportunity, you become the 5th fastest growing municipality in Canada. That's how you bring businesses.
Next up is Christine.
I truly believe we need to relax some of the French lanes in town. That has been one of the #1 complaints I have heard. I do want to keep it in the downtown core, and I believe that this will help bring in some businesses. I also believe we have to, much like Perry said, bring the opportunity for the businesses. What do we have here in order that they want? And we have to be shopping local and supporting these companies that do come in.
Consistent, policy-driven decision-making. Key. Last council meeting I attended, I listened to a conversation around parking and what are we going to charge for parking stalls that are unable to be physically there, but there's a check to be had to account for that. We talked about $17,000, we talked about $10,000, we talked about $14,000, and it was challenged to say, why did we pick one or the other? Consistent, policy-driven decision-making. Businesses being able to understand what stick they're being measured to, very important, very important. We've heard about the sign bylaw tonight. There's inconsistent enforcement of the sign bylaw in town. There are signs up to date that are contrary to the sign bylaw. There are people that have been held to the high standard of the sign bylaw while their neighbors are not. Consistent, policy-driven decision-making will champion business success.
In order to bring businesses to Beaumont, we may have to go and find them. But one of my biggest issues is I want to go back to the businesses that were denied to come to Beaumont. One, being a hotel. Yes, that hotel is not going to be full every weekend. But you know what? There's cricket, there's bowling, there's hockey, there's soccer. It will fill up. Why was it denied? I want to go back to the businesses that were denied. Talk to them. Negotiate with them. I want to go talk to other businesses, surrounding areas, in other communities, and asking them if they want to come to our community. Why? Because Beaumont needs businesses. We need to alleviate some of the burden off of us residents with our taxes. So we will find the businesses that suit Beaumont and that will accommodate all of us.
Okay, that concludes the questions from the floor from the chamber. You guys can relax a little bit before you're closing. Let's have a round of applause for these guys. That's a tough thing to do. Okay, you are being streamed live to the world. Apparently they can't hear you. So we need you to talk loudly if you're ready, please. It's time for your closings. The first one, Bill Dell. Bill, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Number 1 and last. Strong home stretch starts now. I mentioned 2 minutes ago being part of the Strata Council. I attended my first annual meeting 6 years ago, and I volunteered to serve on the council that day, and I was president that night. Don't ever hand up at AGM, it's not good for you. So I inherited a situation where the Strata Council had a deficit, out of control spending, and no surplus. 5 years later, we had 4 years of budget surpluses. We had money in the bank and a reserve. That experience taught me a couple of very key things I want to bring to council going forward, if I'm elected on October 16th. Fiscal responsibility. You have to make tough decisions sometimes when you've got a situation that's not good. And stick to your guns. Owners didn't let their glass not being cut enough. Well, okay, we have this situation for deficit, we need to get it into recovery. Also about teamwork. It wasn't just me, it was my entire council strata who did that financial turnaround in that 5-year period. Council is a group of individuals, it's a team to work together. I want to be part of that team. I ask you to support October 16th. Accountability. Town halls are great, but I think individual accountability is also very important. People like yourself want to be heard. At the time, something's on your mind, not in the next election. So I want to make myself available once a month, 7 to 9 on some evening. I'll be available to meet one-on-one at some location to answer your concerns and questions on a one-on-one basis. Lastly, actually hopefully not too lastly, very close lastly, taxes. Since 2009, our property tax went up 54% on our home in Beaumont. Your places are much the same. People keep telling me we can't pay more taxes. The new council has to take a leadership position. We need to look into our expenditures and dive deep and try and find savings. I would propose we need to have a 2-year mill rate freeze on our property taxes. We need to live within our means, and council will take a lead role on that. Annexation, we've annexed land, north, east, and south. We need to use that land. Thank you.
Thank you to the Beaumont Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity to engage with the residents. I have been active in community through various groups and organizations for many years. I have served as president of 2 volunteer organizations, one of which I was also a co-founder. I currently sit on the board for an organization that offers support for area families affected by autism. I have been a volunteer in the schools extensively. I also have filled in on key positions through my kids' activities. My education and background is in early childhood development, with much of my career being spent as working as an aide with children with special needs, mostly with autistic children. This has encouraged me to think outside the box for solutions and to think on my feet. I am able to quickly assess the situation and adjust accordingly to achieve the desired outcome. I believe I can bring this flexibility and open-minded point of view to Town Council. Conversations I have had throughout the community have one common thread. The residents desire greater communication and openness from the Town Council. I support this and would like to see earlier community consultations with residents to incorporate resident feedback into the initial planning stages. It is my opinion the best way to address these concerns is for increased participation and more visibility on social media by council members. Face-to-face communication is still important, and I believe regularly having council members available for discussions with residents would encourage and offer residents the opportunity to more clearly express their concerns to Town Council. Council members also need to be available outside of scheduled events to facilitate increased communication. Through my past positions and experiences, I have gained a background in procedures and policies and how to apply them. Thank you.
First off, I apologize for my very opening statement. I was nervous. It was easier to perform in front of my 2-year-old son, which kept saying, yeah, to everything I said. So I felt like I was going to rule the world before I left home today. The biggest part of the next 4 years is electing people that you can trust. With trust, there's tons of, out of the 20 here, I don't see one of us that wouldn't be trusted, that would do the job poorly. We're all passionate, we're all dedicated to getting the job done properly. I bring honesty, I'm dedicated, I'm committed to a job well done, and I bring fiscal responsibility. I own my own company, and with every dollar spent, it's always making sure it's going to the right place, at the right time, where it's needed. It would be the same thing with the town. Protecting taxpayers' money would be my utmost of importance. The 3 things that I would like to see to bring more business here is that's the main objective, I think, of all council in this next 4 years for Beaumont, is to bring in additional recreational facilities. bring in either the offer for phase 2 or a completely different building. Having tournaments, events, etc. at a place where it has multiple rinks or soccer fields, tennis courts, whatever we may put in there would bring traffic to Beaumont, bring in businesses to Beaumont wanting to be a part of it. The hotel would, like I think it was Brandy that mentioned that I would be definitely on my list and negotiate with them to bring them back and give them another opportunity. The other two things are relationships, working with the regional partners, our own residents and businesses and developers, and also advocating for nonprofit organizations to bring a theater plus style building to Beaumont for the Beaumont Society for the Arts. Thank you.
Christine?
I'm running for council because I believe I can contribute to a strong and effective leadership that will carry Beaumont into the future. I want the town to take a proactive stance in both planning and doing. An important step for our community is to become effective in our relationships with our neighbours, especially because we are one of the fastest growing communities in Canada. Beaumont needs new visions and ideas that will work in conjunction with our rapid growth. I want Beaumont to become a place of opportunity. In addition about thinking about our current needs, we need to look at our needs from 5 and 10 years from now. Building facilities that will only last a few years is not an effective long-term solution for our town. We need leaders who will make informed decisions that will reflect the community's interest. As a longtime resident of this community, I have heard and shared many of the concerns and needs within our community. I believe I will be a great voice for the community and help the changes that need to be done.
Sean Brown?
I'm going to come behind the podium for this one so I can use my cheat sheet because I missed a lot of stuff when we first started. I've got cards at the back, they're on the table, my phone number's on it. If you ever got a question, want to chat, give me a buzz. I mean, if you all call me right after we walk out of here, I'm not going to have enough time to answer all your calls, but I will get back to you. I see Beaumont and the growth of Beaumont very important over the next 4 years for this term of council. We have to negotiate with our neighbors, and that involves everything. That could be on recreation centers, that could be on transit, that could be on land use. I truly don't believe we should be moving our residential north, moving towards Edmonton, because one day we're just going to have a civil war when the houses meet together. We should start looking at the north and maybe put a commercial district in there. Maybe that's the perfect area for a hotel. But we have to look at different ideas and do different things so that we can keep our town the way I want it to feel. And a way I think everybody moved here for the same reason. So if we plan it right and we do it right, we can become that island in the stream. And let me check my notes. Communications, everybody's talked about communications tonight. They're important. I think you can listen all you want, but you have to listen and then value people's input. And I always listen and I value what people have to say. I'm going to be one voice on council, and I understand that. But I'll be a strong voice. And I think when the council does stuff over the past 4 years, I've looked at things and I've gone, why have they done that? And I plan to be that strong voice on council. And thank you very much.
This platform is as much yours as it is mine. I believe everyone deserves an opportunity to be heard, and I'm listening. For our economy to be competitive, we need to have the right infrastructure in place and maintain it. I believe the success of the town of Beaumont depends on a sustainable tax base using innovative investments. I propose we maximize our support for local business by encouraging continued economic diversification, ensuring our development and permit processes are as barrier-free as possible, limit property tax increases while maintaining development, and increase collaboration with provincial and federal levels of government. I am in favor of a balanced approach to new and existing facilities with a keen sense of responsibility for the financial impact, sustainability, and insurance liability requirements surrounding the maintenance, affordability, and accessibility for residents to all municipal facilities. I will advocate for a proactive approach to policing that places an emphasis on community policing, work to ensure proactive steps are taken to avoid pedestrian injuries and fatalities, and champion a reduction in the use of photo radar and more face-to-face contact with drivers. Beaumont is the 5th fastest community in Canada, and I do not believe that we should seek city status, at least not yet. Our municipality has been shaped by our combined history and the unique experiences of our residents. I believe we should celebrate our broad ethnic and cultural diversity. I am committed to supporting access to healthy green spaces, improving transit and active transportation options, reducing the town's energy consumption, and revising our waste management and organics collection system. As we move forward into the future, we should align our processes and systems with the capital region to ensure we remain competitive, collaborative, and sustainable.
Martin Stick.
Great, thank you. Hello again. Bonjour aussi, I think. I told you before, I'd tell you why then am I actually running? I'm running because after living here for 25 years, bringing up 3 daughters through the education system here and participating in lots of volunteer activities, I care deeply about my adopted hometown and about its future. I'm running because I want council to make better decisions and so create better outcomes for all the residents of Beaumont, not just the privileged and the well-connected, but everybody. I'm running because I want council to really make 3 big improvements, and those are: 1, better communication. I want council to hear the voices of all Beaumont in all their diversity, and as well, I want council to communicate better what decisions it has made and what the reasons for making them were. The second improvement I want to make is improved planning. I want us to consider as a council all the options. When we've heard the voices, all the options to meet the needs and consider them and choose the one that is the most effective, that delivers the outcome we want, and is the most cost efficient, that does it at the least reasonable cost. And finally, the third improvement I want to make is a full implementation. When we've communicated and planned, we need to ensure that what we've planned is implemented precisely, completely, and in a timely manner. And if that doesn't happen, and I can think of instances where it hasn't in the past, then somebody needs to be held to account for it. I'm running because I want to make life in Beaumont even better. I believe with your support, together we can do that. So please, on October the 16th, if you agree with me, please vote for Martin Stout. Thank
you. Please, Stephen, you're up next.
I have 2 notes on the top. It says smile and up. I'm smiling at you and I'm going to speak up. Maybe you don't know, but I'm a volunteer with the Beaumont First Scouts. As a beaver leader, 2 of the things that we teach kids are a promise and a law. The promise is, I promise to love God and help take care of the world. The law is, a beaver has fun, works hard, and helps family and friends. It often chokes me up, and I believe that these statements are what we use to teach kids to increase their understanding of the world around them. But I think the same holds true for a councillor as well. Now, you've heard many I statements tonight this evening. I will do this and I will do that. And I've been to the meetings, I understand the process, and I realize that in order to make meaningful change, we need to work together. I challenge all of the I statements that we've heard tonight, and I think they should be we statements. We will do it together. Look down the row of candidates here tonight. There are 6 of us that are going to form the next council in Beaumont, and with your support, I'll be one of them. But in the back of my mind, I can always hear the kids in the Beaver Colony, and I can't count how many times I've heard that the town is ready for change, that our council needs some new energy, some new ideas, and that folks are unhappy. But guess what? The overwhelming response I get at the doors is that despite shortcomings, despite opportunities for improvement, residents love living in Beaumont. I promise to work hard now. I promise to open the door to all my family and friends in the town of Beaumont. I want to hear what you have to say, and I'm going to bring it to council chambers. I'm Stephen Van Newkirk, and I hope that on October 16th, you also believe that we can do this together. I look forward to representing you at the council table, and thank you very much for coming out tonight.
Thank you guys again for being here tonight. Great crowd. I want to share my closing with what I've heard on the thousands of doors that I've knocked on, some issues. The first one is around annexation. So first I'd like to acknowledge the great work that council has done to get us to this point. The number one thing that I'm hearing at the door is that people don't want Edmonton to be at 510. And I completely agree with them, and I will fight tooth and nail with you to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now that doesn't mean drawing a line in the sand and saying you're not going to come here and not talking to them. That's about building relationships and engaging with all those municipalities. I talked about my background in government relations. I have really strong connections with a lot of municipalities at that Capital Region Board, and we need to engage with the City of Edmonton, yes, but also the surrounding partners. There's 22 other people on that Capital Region Board, and we should be pushing them to put pressure on the City of Edmonton to make sure that we get what we want out of here. The second thing is around communication. You heard a lot tonight from people about communication being a big issue. I believe I'm the best person to deliver on that because that's my background. I studied it, I do it for a job, and I think I can deliver it here for people in Beaumont. The next one around families. Yes, we're growing, and I support sustainable growth, but I want to make sure that we don't just build houses for the sake of building houses. We must make sure that we have the recreational facilities in place, community space for our great clubs, municipal enforcement, policing, fire service, ready to handle that, right? So that comes back to the planning. That's a really important piece for me. I also want to touch on the bus. Now, I'll promise you this actually doesn't come up at the door, so this is just something that I'm very passionate about. I catch it to work every day, and I chat to the people who are on there, and particularly young students who just love being able to go there. I think there are some opportunities we can do to change some of the schedules. I'd like to see a 10 a.m. bus come up so that people can have an opportunity to get there. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge Camille here, our mayor, for 20 years of service. Absolutely incredible stuff, so thank you very much for that. And lastly, I get extra time because of the clap, but lastly, a vote for me is a vote for someone who's going to be incredibly passionate and got a lot of energy to work for you going forward. I hope you vote for me on the 16th of October. Thank you very much.
My wife and friends that visit and listening to me be passionate at home about different issues that a lot of the things that are coming up in Beaumont talks and we're discussing at home. And it wasn't, so she was actually saying you should run for council. And I didn't really realize how serious she was. I thought, we've been on council, you don't really know what it takes to do the job. And I have a lot of thanks tonight to Carrie Bauer, who is actually here tonight, who encouraged me to run, and she is on council currently. We talked about how my day job has a lot of parallels with what is actually new on council. The process tonight, you don't get a lot of chance to really talk about either yourself or your platform. If the chamber will give them to me, I'd like to answer every single one of the questions that was brought up this evening. I'll post them on my website, jasonforbeaumont.ca, and if there's other questions you want to ask, I'm happy to answer those as well. So thank you very much for your commitment tonight, and I hope to continue the conversation online, in person, over the phone, whatever you want to do. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Next up is Perry.
Since my election, during the by-election of October 1991, I found on-council to be both challenging and rewarding. During my term on council, Beaumont has seen the inception of numerous initiatives, such as the Protective Services Building, BRAC 2, tree planting programs, Beaumont Transit System, upgrade to our town's trail systems, community-based police service, promotions committee, improvements to our firefighting equipment, ongoing studies to review recreational requirements, new water reservoirs, and the annexation of land from Leduc County, just to name a few. The annexation agreement has provided Beaumont with the security of its growth, its transportation corridors, and its property values. Presently, the annexation agreement is simply the foundation of a very large planning process, which is now taking place. It's my hope that you will allow me to continue my work on this very important initiative on your behalf. This coincides with one of my many other ongoing commitments, which includes the maintenance of our existing infrastructure. Beaumont has enjoyed a large percentage of asphalt overlay to existing roads, along with sidewalk replacement. The main engine of this community is volunteers. Our volunteers need our support to continue their work for the citizens of our community. Social programs such as our daycare continue to be great assets for our community and need our fiscal support to maintain the high standards which they enjoy. Property taxes are an issue dear to all taxpayers. Tax increases should not be a first resort, but a last resort when managing the fiscal responsibilities of the community. I feel that a tax increase should only be implemented when all other reasonable options have been exhausted. Beaumont enjoys a low debt per capita, a low mill rate, and a healthy reserve balance. With your support, I will continue to champion the cause of fiscal responsibility and accountability, and with your support on October 16th, I will continue to work on your behalf to maintain the ideal that life is better in Beaumont. Thank you.
Thank you, Perry. The next one up is Mark, please.
Good evening again. My name is Mark Bouchard, in case that was somehow missed. We've had a very thought-provoking evening, hopefully giving all of us a good glimpse into the personalities of the candidates. I swear I do have a personality when I'm not giving a speech. I am a proud and active resident of Beaumont, signing up for roles to positively impact even minor parts of our community. And now, I am trying out for the role of councillor. As such, I would help guide the continued growth and prosperity of Beaumont to the benefit to all of us. It's so comforting to me that this town has managed to keep our image a positive one through the crazy growth we are experiencing. I like how we tie the French Village theme into the bilingual aspect of this town. In line with Vegreville's egg, St. Paul's landing pad, I'm looking forward to what Beaumont's landmark might turn out to be. I would like the voters of Beaumont to know that I am not utilizing signage in my campaign, just in case anyone has been looking for them in amongst all the other signs. I will be meeting with voters and gladly chatting about my candidacy, the town, and community-based expectations. In closing, I would like to encourage everyone, get out there and vote. Thank you and good night.
So I am Murray Baldwin. I'd like to say that Beaumont has been very good to me and my family. We've had great experiences here with the schools, the people, the businesses, and the sports programs. I've been inspired by the efforts and the willingness of the volunteers of this community. I believe that with my financial and government background that I can be an asset to town council. I've been through the financial statements, I've been through the budgets. It's something I enjoy. I know that's a little weird, but it's something that I'm passionate about and I believe in. I believe a full financial review needs to be done. I believe there are savings to be found. But I also want to ensure that the recreational facilities are built for the families of this community. I don't believe that we should be sending our families down secondary highways through Alberta winters. Sooner or later, there's going to be a tragedy, and I believe we really need to look at this and deal with it now. In closing, I would like to thank all of the other candidates for putting their names forward, for coming out tonight. This is not an easy thing to do, and I certainly appreciate all their efforts. I'd like to thank the mayoral candidates. I see most of them out here tonight. I think it's fantastic that we have so many people running for mayor, and I'd like to thank the past mayor and the past council, those who are not returning, for their efforts. I think they've done a great job in helping to build this community. And lastly, I would like to thank all of you for taking the time to come here tonight and to listen to us. Thank you very much.
Well, in closing, I am with Scott that now that, we got some questions out of the way, the nerves have kind of settled down and I'm good to go now, just when the party's ready to end. Being said, I'm a longtime resident. I've seen growing pains and I want to see change in Beaumont by making it a community we enjoy and want to raise our family here. I have a number of top priorities on my list if elected in October 16th. Wasteful spending of our tax dollars. Let's change that. Let's put the money where the community wants it and needs it. Looking at our bylaws and pilot policies, let's make them so that everybody understands them, so they're clear, so they're more realistic. There's no loopholes or miscommunication with any of them. Working with all the demographics of Beaumont. We're a young community. We have plenty of seniors too. Let's all work together and make it a fun community. Building the future of our community, not just today, but making facilities for the future, not right now. Beaumont's not getting smaller, it's getting bigger. Looking for plans of infrastructure, for instance, 50th Street and 50th Ave, it's not safe. We don't have to make things look pretty all the time. Our safety should be first. 50th Street is one of my biggest concerns. It scares me. It needs to be dealt with sooner than later. Looking at the guidelines, we also need to work with our neighbors all around us. So at Edmonton, Leduc County, the city of Leduc, they're our neighbors. We should be getting along with our neighbors. With that, I want to listen to you, the residents. So as we move forward in this community, I want to hear from you. When we have discussions on things that need to change or happen, you should all be involved in those decision-making. It should be plans that you have an input in. Vote Randy Wachter.
Thank you, everyone. Merci beaucoup. I appreciate the time each and every one of you has taken tonight to be here to learn more about each one of us. I also want to thank the Beaumont Chamber of Commerce for their excellent work in putting this together. It was tough, let me tell you. And I do want to congratulate all the candidates that have taken the time to get here, to get to this point. It takes not only courage, but passion to get up here and to put yourself out there. Let me take this opportunity to explain my platform just a little bit further. Economic prosperity, not just development. It's not just a fancy phrase. We need an aggressive approach to bring more businesses, jobs, and taxes to our fine town and our region. We can't do this alone. We need to work more collaboratively with our neighbors, with our businesses to make this happen. The annexation was a necessary step. It's unfortunate that we suffered a setback in our relationships to get there. This needs to be addressed and fixed soon. Services for youth. I know it's controversial that the Aquafit Phase 2 is moving ahead. It's not been funded yet, so it isn't a done deal. I'm a little worried about that, because quite honestly, I don't think we can wait 10 more years. We need the ice rink, we need the indoor track, we need the soccer fields, we need a place for our kids to bump into each other in a nice way. And we need it for all ages, not just for our youth. Funding is a challenge, but the land is ready there. So from a reasonable perspective, I'd like to see us move ahead with more services. They're needed, but it's the next council that's going to decide how, when, and where. And the forever issue, I think we've all raised it. It's communication. I'm looking forward to some changes that are coming. There should be live streaming of council meetings. It's been passed, it's been funded. I hope that's going to happen soon. And I think more focus on setting goals in our plans. Oh, again, I did
Thank you, everybody. I just want to say, first off, these are all great candidates up here. And most importantly, these are just great people. I've talked to so many people and met so many people like Perry today. Fantastic guy. And even all the mayor candidates, they've all been more than helpful to help me guide my way through this. I'm an electrician by trade, so what I bring to the table is a lot of common sense, practical ideas, and forward thinking. Any of the jobs I've worked on, from construction in residential, commercial, industrial, and maintenance, I've always had to work with different trades, different personalities, timeframes, and budgets. We all work hard together to get the job done. I vote for Paul Dyers because I vote for common sense, passion, forward thinking, and putting the taxpayers first. I know the difference between a need and a want. I give you my commitment that I will give you the best value for your hard-earned tax dollars that Beaumont can get. I would do an efficiency review to see how our tax dollars are spent. I would stop Aquafit Phase 2. I don't think it satisfies the need now or in the future. I'd advocate for a new multiplex somewhere on the north side of Beaumont, which start building that, hotels will come, business will come, and now that's how you start easing the tax 95-5 ratio. I would revisit and renew the architectural guidelines and bylaws. I'd be a voice for the seniors. I would advocate for 24/7 man-patrol police enforcement. I'd also advocate for adding a parking lot in Centreville so that we can possibly remove one side of the street parking to make more room for people to get through safely. I will look into the speed limit at Township 510. I've knocked on 80% of the doors in Beaumont myself. I want to be your voice. On election day, please vote Paul Dyers. Thank you.
I want to thank each and every one of you for honoring each and every one of us with your participation in this event here tonight. What I promise you if elected is accessibility and openness to ensure that each one of you has a voice, your voice. I'm no different than anyone else in this town, and I believe by sharing our ideas and being transparent, even when we don't agree, we're going to gain a better understanding of each other's perspective. But I'll do more than listen, I will hear you. I promise a community focus. Most of us have called Beaumont home because it has that incredible sense of community that you don't find in a large city. So we need to build on that sense of community and culture and use that as the foundation for our short and long-term planning here in Beaumont. Let's be proactive and meet the needs of our growing population while remaining adaptable to the differing needs of our businesses and our residents. Let's ensure that our guidelines and our policies are not restricting the growth and prosperity of these much valued local businesses. We should promote Beaumont as a destination. We should steward collaborative relationships with our neighbors in the county, the Duke, the city of Edmonton. This is a sentiment you're going to hear a lot during this election, and what I'm bringing to the table is 20 years of professional experience building and fostering strong, productive relationships. I promise accountability. My accountability promise is twofold. First, to advocate for this new council and mayor to be accountable to each of you for your tax dollars, ensuring that our expenditures are strategic and that they meet the plans for the town as well as meeting the needs of the majority of our population. This means being smart with our money, spending it where it will have the greatest impact to the most number of people. The second part is to be accountable to you, to be your voice, and to hear what you're saying. Again, I thank you all for coming out. I thank the Chamber for hosting this great event. And I want to thank each of my fellow candidates for their candor here tonight. My name is Jeremy Cornell, and I am ready to be one of your new councillors here in the town of Beaumont. Thank you.
Ready to go, Gary? You're the last one. Oh, I'm sorry, Sabrina. Sorry, Sabrina.
moderator, for giving me my time. So here we are, we're in a room filled with people who want the best for Beaumont. Every single one of us is here because, you know what, you care, and especially these candidates here. So now all of us on stage here, because we're all on the stage here because we have passion, we have a voice, and we want to be heard. But all of this starts with you and what you want. Now, over the last 3 years, I've met so many amazing Beaumont residents and business owners. And those of you who have met me know that I am an honest person. And truly, what you see is what you get. I don't fluff my answers. I don't beat around the bush, simply because that's not who I am. I'm pretty straightforward. Anyways, so what will I bring to the council chambers? As a successful business owner for almost 20 years, I have a proven track record of keeping to my promises, listening to my clients, asking my employees to work with me and not for me, and ensuring my budgets are on track and that my spending is effective and not wasteful. Not to mention also that our first business with my husband is Powers & Associates Appraisal Services. We've owned a property tax assessment firm and residential appraisals for 18, 19 years now. So we do bring a lot, or I will bring a lot of that knowledge to council. So these are the things that I make, or that I feel would make a successful business owner, which of course is always applicable to council. My family and I, we have a motto, and I try to live this every day, and I hope that my family does too. But we are nice, we are kind, and we are respectful. This is how I will represent you and our town. You can expect that from me 100% of the time. So I would like to leave you this evening with a quote that I truly believe in, actually. Let us not be content to wait and see what will happen, but give us the information to make the right choices.
First of all, thanks for being here today. It's a great win. And meeting with many of you in the community, one of the things that I'm often asked is why I decided to run for the town council. I always believe, and my favorite quote, be the things that you wish to see in the world. Here I am. I am ready to contribute back to this beautiful community and a wonderful town. I'm running because as a young man, my parents taught me that one of our greatest responsibility as a gay citizen is to find meaningful ways to contribute to our community. So here I am. As a tax professional and accounting background, I'm going straight to the tax. Property tax increase is also concerned for the residents. Council must be fiscal, responsible, and committed to finish project on time and on budget. There should be no increase in taxes due to mismanagement and poor decision making. Also, there should be a transparency in the budgeting process. The tax burden on residents can be reduced by increasing commercial side. As we all know, 95% of our property tax revenue is coming from the residential side. So we need to bring more commercial, small businesses in our town to take that burden away from the residential shoulders. Sustainable development is the development that we needed in our town that is good for today and it will be good for the coming 30 years. And of course, the recreational facility we should have, it should have an indoor soccer and we can have more events in our town that will support local businesses and that will, of course, if we need a hotel that will bring the business and that hotel will run from that. So truly, I'm running here for my family and yours, so that your children and grandchildren can grow in the community that they are proud to call home. Thank you very much for being here.
Right on time. Before I close, one more round of applause for our candidates tonight. Choices. Now, Chamber volunteers for your work this evening and putting this on. It's well done. As well, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the current or the outgoing councillors. If I can ask them to stand, please, just so we can give them a round of applause. And finally to Camille. He's been at this, I've been a resident of this town for almost 40 years. And I've known that name, and I've watched Camille do his thing for 20 years, and he has done this town a great service. Please, Camille was. Okay, that concludes tonight's forum. Tomorrow is the mayor's forum. What time does it start? 6:30. See you tomorrow night.